Hello and welcome to another stream. It is Learning Korean with Ray, day 185. And we are going to start, or probably to finish the grammar of lesson 18 today and probably start the practice video. But before we do that, of course, let's go into another vocabulary session. By the way, I should have said that in the beginning. So I'm a bit late today. Oh, it's already 17 minutes after the time, yeah. So, in case anyone's seeing this, sorry about being late. I had some slight misunderstanding and some discussion to do at 6 p.m. Yeah, can't change it now. So that's why I'm late here. Okay, actually, I still have to be AFK for 1 minute. Sorry about this. Okay. Yeah, really sorry about this. So I see there are actually 3 viewers on the stream. Yeah, man, I'm 25 minutes late now. Really had a lot of discussion to do. Anyways, so if anyone is still actively watching, thanks for you tuning in and being here. And now we'll actually start with the Korean learning. Okay, so first of all is the vocabulary review, and we have 20 words to review here. Yes, I have to change that as well. You're totally right. Yeah, let's see. Yeah, always these time zone changes. There we go. Yeah, there, it's fixed. 2 a.m. I also have to check if 12 p.m. Eastern time is still correct. I'm not sure. Okay, so let's continue. To be satisfactory. 만족스럽다, right?
만족스럽다.
mainly, mostly. 주, something with 주. 주로.
주로.
Economical. Factory can produce Vulture, Siege Tank and Goliath. Yeah. I'm not sure what your point is. Okay, economical is 경제적.
경제적.
Okay, satisfactory. Yeah, you're right. Oh man, I didn't even like realize that. Okay, that direction. 저쪽.
저쪽.
저쪽. To stand. 서다. Conversation. 회화.
회화.
Immediately. Okay, there's 갑자기. which is usually. Immediately is Jakku, I think. Jakku. Jajung. Wait, what? Jajung? No. Okay. Jik. Jikshi.
즉시,
Jikshi. Okay. To impress. Okay, I know this. 운동하다, to exercise. 감동하다, to
감동하다.
impress. To drive, 운전하다.
운전하다.
Inside part. 외부. Wait, inside. 내부.
내부.
외부 is outside part. Outside. Okay, to be perfect. 완벽하다.
완벽하다,
To be unfortunate. 안타깝다.
안타깝다.
안타가워요. 안타가워요 is the conjugated form. Repeatedly. Is this Jakku?
작고.
Yeah, Jakku. Okay. To be wet. 잤다. 졌다.
졌다.
졌다. Outside part. There we have it. This is 외부.
외부,
Encyclopedia. 백과. 사전.
백과사전.
백과사전. To be turned off. 켤리다? 켤지다. 켜지다. Wait, to be turned off. 켜지다, I think. To be turned off. Wait, turned off? I'm doing turned on. Okay. 꺼지다.
꺼지다.
Okay, I did turned on the whole time. 켜지다. Okay. 켜지다 and 꺼지다. Okay, nice. But, however, 그러나.
그러나.
To trick somebody. 속이다.
속이다.
To be curious about something. Oh, I don't think I know this. To be curious. I know I had that wrong yesterday as well. I didn't know that yesterday. Probably something like... I think this was in there, but I'm not sure. I will check the answers. Okay, Kungim. It was Kungim. Kungimada.
궁금하다.
Okay, two more. To request. To request. That was the chong. That was the chong. But chong what? Yo chong. Yo chong hada.
요청하다.
Yo chong hada. Recently. Oh man. I always get confused, like repeatedly, recently, a moment ago. Recent. Okay, but I think I know. Is this Na-jung Na-jung-e? Na-jung? Ah, I guess it's not. Damn it. I have to look at the options. Oh. Oh, oh, this one. 최근, 최근에.
출근.
Wow.
최근.
And there's another one, 근처. 최근, 근처. It's so similar. Okay, but that was the review. The words are still not perfectly in my head. They are definitely not in the long-term memory yet. They are not, yeah, they are not, I don't know them very well. But still enough vocabulary. We will continue with the grammar. I mean, after the grammar, we'll start with vocabulary for lesson 19 anyways. So that's only like 2 days away. So then it's more vocabulary. And then I make sure I have everything learned very well. Okay, so let's go into the browser, into the website here, and we go to lesson number 18. And yeah, we learned this yesterday. This was the last one we learned. So overall, just a little review. We learned goita to make the progressive form. We learned that for specific words like position verbs or kajida, alda, salda. Yeah, we basically learned that you use them for some words in Korean more often. That is maybe unusual for English. For example, I am knowing is very unusual, but you use goita often with alda, which is to know. So that's what we learned, and then we learned you don't use it with adjectives. You cannot do that. But now we learn how to basically progress to a state to be a certain adjective. Okay, and this is this last chapter here of this lesson. Another powerful grammatical form in Korean is adding ajida or ojida to the stem of the adjective. Okay. This changes the meaning of an adjective from to be smart to get become smart. For example, to be happy, to get or become happy. Okay, we have happy, 행복, 행복, 행복하다, 행복하다, and this one is 행복해지다. Okay, so if you add a or o to a ha, you basically transform it to hey, I guess. We had that concept for different grammar concepts in the past, but I guess for other ones like this one, for example, you just add the usual o or a. Of course, This being irregular, you remove the B and you add an U, but then you add the ojida. Chu wojida. To get cold. Chu wojida. Okay, yes, yeah, pretty okay, pretty easy. Yeah, Köda, yeah, these irregulars are really, since we're adding vowels, the irregulars apply. So here, for example, again, you remove the you remove that and you add O directly to the K. So it's Kojida. Here it's He again from Ha. And here it's Ajida added because the last vowel is an A. So you add Ajida. And then you have two R's right next to each other, then you just combine them to only Jida, basically. Pisa Jida. Okay. Ah, hi Kaya. Welcome to the stream. Thanks for tuning in. Yeah. I was like 20 minutes late today. But now I'm here. 안녕하세요. 여러분. 여러분. 여러분? You know, I watch a lot of like Korean YouTube videos, and I always hear this 여러분 in the introduction. Like, and there's always a subtitle. I try to not look at the subtitles, but I have seen so many videos that I just notice the subtitle anyways. And I think it's everyone, right? 여러분, is this everyone? So, for example, hello everyone. Yeah. Okay, nice. Okay, so you can technically use these adjectives in the present tense, but just like with verbs, you only ever really use the present tense conjugation to indicate common truth or indicate the frequency of something happening. I learned in English you have very short sentences usually compared to other languages, and in Germany we have very long sentences. In Germany our sentences are super long. We have like so many commas in it and like another part sentence, another part sentence, and so on. But people always say that it's so crazy in Germany, and in English it's you always have short sentences, but this is a pretty long sentence. But anyways, I eat rice, but you may be more inclined to say I eat rice every day. Yeah, okay. But I'm not sure what he's trying to say here, because he's talking about adjectives, but then eat is a verb. And for something like to get cold, you definitely use it in the present tense. You only ever really use present tense conjugation to indicate common truth. I don't see the connection between this sentence and this example. And I mean this one, like, for example, if you're in a room and the room is cold, that's a perfectly fine sentence to say in present tense, right? So I really don't see what he means here. Yeah, the weather gets cold. This also, isn't this a totally fine sentence that you would always use all the time commonly? Like, isn't this sentence very common? 날씨가 추워져. Okay, 워져. Okay, okay. It's more natural to use these types of words in sentences in the past or future tense. Weather got cold. The price of oil got expensive. Yeah, okay. I mean, with some things, of course. The price of oil, yes, you would probably use future or past. But for something like the weather gets cold, I think present tense is totally fine. I would say the weather is getting cold. Yeah. Okay. That's okay. That's the thing that he was trying to get across. I thought he's like talking about present tense for adjectives in general, which yeah makes no sense. Is getting. Yeah, but is getting. I mean, am I not getting this? To get cold, yeah, but it's. Isn't this getting cold? Isn't this the weather? The weather is getting cold. Isn't that exactly that sentence? Basically, I'm not sure why he's saying gets cold here. Yeah. To get. Okay, so we need the progressive form of to get adjective. Okay, so maybe we use this one and then we add a goita after that one, and then it's getting cold. We'll see. Maybe that's what he's trying to. Maybe that's the goal of this whole thing. When o or agida is added to an adjective, the entire construction is a verb. Wait, I want to find this. As I mentioned earlier, you cannot attach. However, attaching to an adjective, you can indicate that word. Then it's okay. Here we finally have this. This is what I was waiting for. This is what I expected. Like up here, I really didn't get this example because this is clearly not an adjective. I eat rice. Yeah, okay. Now it all makes sense. Of course, yes, if you use adjective in present tense, you use the progressive. But you still use the adjectives in present tense. You just use the present progressive, the progressive present tense. But he said like you don't use present tense, or you rarely use present tense at all. That's how this sentence makes it seem. And that is definitely not true. It's just that you use a progressive form in the present tense. And okay, now we finally got this information here. Okay. So let's see some real example sentences for this concept. Joe yoja 친구는 여보지 여보지고 있어요. 여보지고 있어요. Okay. 여보지고 있어요. Okay, so here we have 여보다. We remove the ö in the middle because it's an irregular. Then we attach the 어지다 to it. Then we remove the da to only take the stem. So we only have org merged together with the b, boji. And then we add goita and then we conjugate it. So many steps. Like you add this, you take this away, you fuse this, then you add this, then you conjugate this. It's pretty funny. Okay, but this example sentence itself is also, my girlfriend is getting pretty. I don't know if if it sounds just weird to me, but for me this is a weird sentence. Usually this, I mean, isn't this like maybe in a very long time span, or maybe she's dressing up or so, but my girlfriend is getting pretty is a weird thing to say in my opinion. Yeah, he was she was ugly before, and now she in the last hour she got pretty, and before that she was ugly. What? I don't know. It's just super weird. But I mean, the grammatical concept is still possible here, of course, but it's just a weird sentence. Okay, house prices are getting expensive. Okay, Jeep Capsin, Jeep Capsin, Pisajigo iso. Pisajigo iso. Pisajigo iso.
집값은 비싸지고 있어.
My skin is getting soft. 피부가 부드러. That is soft. 부드러워지고 있어요. 부드러워지고 있어요. Yeah, that's a pretty long, soft, getting soft. 부드러워지고 있어요.
피부가 부드러워지고 있어요. 피부가 부드러워지고 있어요.
부드러워지. This is so weird. The raw and then war. Raw. 부드러워. It's so weird. 부드러워지고. 부드러워지고 있어요. Man, I really need to practice reading more. In the previous lesson, you learned that you cannot add go 싶다 to want. Yeah, it's to want an action to an adjective. By attaching a jida, you can indicate something becomes an adjective. Then it's possible. I want my girlfriend to become pretty. Again, a technically correct sentence, but again, a bit weird. I want to become happy. 나는 행복해지고 싶어.
나는 행복해지고 싶어.
나는 예뻐지고 싶어.
나는 예뻐지고 싶어.
Ah, yeah, that's not yo, it's yeah. Right. 나는 예뻐지고 싶어.
나는 예뻐지고 싶어.
Okay. Yeah. So, to summarize, you don't add go to adjectives. And if you really want to, you add this one in between. And then you have it. Okay. So the progressive form and the want to be or to do something is only possible if you change the to be to become or to get by adding this. Yeah, because then you basically transform the adjective from a state, like my girlfriend is in the state of being pretty, you change it to an action that can have a progress, that can be progressive. Okay, and with that we are done for this lesson in only 2 days. Very nice. Yeah, so I started very late today. So I will do a bit longer today. I will not stop now. We'll just start with the first practice video again.
All right, let's practice some sentences.
Okay, I will turn up the volume. I will remove the text from last time. And I think we can start.
Prompt you with 5 sentences based on the grammar from Unit 1, Lesson 18, and it's going to be your job to try to translate those sentences into Korean. The first sentence I would like you to try is, I am reading a novel. I'll give you 10 seconds, and you can start now.
Okay, so again, as always, I put my window where I type my answer in front of the chat, so you guys can participate and do this exercise yourself and put your answer in the chat, and I will do it for myself without reading the chat, and then once I have my final answer, then I will look at the chat. Okay, so let's go. 저는 that's always the part that I do right. Okay, I am reading a novel. So now we need the word for novel, right? I think it's isn't it 소설? I think it's 소설. Maybe 소설, maybe. Yeah, I think so. 소설. Should be correct. So I'm reading a novel. So we add the object particle here, and then we want to indicate that we are reading the novel right now. So present progressive form. So we need the word for reading. So I know there are 2 different words for reading. One is for like newspapers and everything, and one is specifically for books. So I learned you use that specific word for reading if you're reading, if you're using the word for book. In this case, we have not the word for book, but we basically have a type of book. So I'm not sure which read I should actually use now. And to make it, well, I don't have to decide because I only can remember one of them. So that makes it easy for me. So I use ikda here. And now I change that to the progressive form. And if I'm using the wrong verb here, then I can just say I thought you only used the other one for book and not novel. Okay, ikda. Igo 있어요. 이거 있어요. Yeah. Okay. I am reading a novel. 소설을 읽고 있어요. Yeah, okay, final answer. I'm looking at the chat now. Okay, nothing in the chat, but that's fine. Or I will make this a bit bigger again, by the way. So let's check the answer.
Now, the object of the sentence, or in other words, the thing that I am reading, is a novel, and the word for that in Korean is 소설. So I'll put that here followed
Nice.
by the object particle on it
Nice.
here. Now, I want to indicate that I'm reading the novel, so I want to use the verb 읽다. So I'm going to do this. However, I want to indicate that I'm currently doing this action of reading. Now, if I'm currently doing this action of reading, what I want to do, and as you learned in lesson 18, that you should add ko to the verb followed by 읽다. Now, as I usually do with my sentences, I'm going to conjugate this with the honorific in the informal high respect form. So I'll add this to it. This sentence would read, 저는 소설을 읽고 있어요. The next sentence
100 points for the first one.
I would like you to try is, my parents live in America. Just to make sure that you actually use the grammar from lesson 18, let's make sure that you're saying that they are currently living in America. I'll give you 10 seconds and you can start now.
Yeah, okay, so that was one of the verbs that we learned is very often used in the progressive form in Korea. Okay, my parents. So I'm putting the window in front of the chat again. Joey, or I guess, yeah, okay, never mind. Joey, I guess you can leave it out. You know what? I'll put this in brackets because I think if I would just type casually to someone, I would leave this out. Then we need the word for parents, which is 부모님. So 부모님 in America, which is 미국에 or 미국에서. So one of those is correct. And I think I remember that he mentioned that eso is a bit more common, but just slightly, but both is possible. But I'm going to use 미국에서 here because the action of living is being done inside of the place that I specify here, which is America. Okay. So eso, 미국에서. And then we need living, which is 살다. And we want to transform it to progressive, of course. So it's 살다. 살고 있어요. 저의 부모님 미국에서 살고 있어요. Okay, that's it. Let's see.
My parents. So in order to say that they're my parents, I'll start by putting 저의 here. That's just indicate that they're my. The word for parents is 부모님. 부모님. That's the subject of the sentence, so I'm going to put this on it. Now I want to indicate that they live in America. And if you want to indicate that somebody is doing an action, which the action is living.
Yeah, I forgot the subject part. Man, what a bad mistake here.
In a particular place. Well, let's write the place first. So we're going to put 미국 to indicate that it's America, or the United States of America. And to indicate that the action of living is happening in this place, I'm going to put 에서 on the place. Now I want to indicate that they live in that place, and the verb for to live is 살다. I'll just write the dictionary form here, 살다, but as we saw in sentence number 1, if I want to indicate that somebody is currently doing this particular action, well, I want to add this 고 있다 form to the verb. So I'm going to erase 다 and add 고 followed by 있다, but just like we saw above, as I usually do in these sentences, I'm going to add the honorific of the informal high respect. So I'm going to put 어요 at the end of this. This sentence would read, 저희 부모님은 미국에서 살고 있어요. The next sentence I would like you to try
Okay, so I forgot the subject particle, but apart from that, everything is correct.
is
But
I have.
it was pretty easy so far, I have to say. I have the feeling the practice videos, the non-listening practice videos, so just the normal translation videos, they're getting easier and easier every time. I feel like a few lessons ago, he always tried to construct sentences that have the grammar concept that you just learned in the previous lesson, but also have some of the earlier grammar concepts also included. And you basically had to think about many different grammar concepts to translate them. And I feel right now, it's only like he's using the most easy sentences that only have that one grammar concept that you just learned. That's what what it feels like to me. I mean, here in America we have the eso, so I guess that was a grammar concept that came a bit earlier. But yeah, that's just my feeling. Maybe it's just that I got a bit more comfortable with the previous grammar concepts, but I have the feeling it's a bit easier than a few lessons ago. Okay, but let's do number 3 now. I possess a charger. So just to give you a little example of what I just said, I feel like in one of the other videos that were harder, he would now use the sentence, I had a charger for 2 years when I was living in Korea. Stuff like that, you know? You have like way longer sentences that you have this for 2 years, you have past tense, you have all of this, but now it's just the simplest sentence ever. Okay, 저는 a charger is John. Something like Chunjongi, something like that. Maybe Chung. I'm not sure. Chungjongi could be correct. I'm not 100% sure, but yeah, that's it. Okay, then we add the object particle because we're using kajida as a verb, and for that we use normal object particle. If we used ita for to have, we would use I or ka, but in this case we use re. And now we put the verb in progressive. Actually progressive. I have, yeah, kajida. Yeah, that was also one of the words where he mentioned you often use the progressive form. Okay. Kajida. We remove the da, we add go, we add ita, we conjugate 있어요. 가지고 있어요. Yeah, nothing to add there. That's my answer. So let's check the
Have
official
a charger.
answer.
Just to make sure that we're actually using the grammar from lesson 18, let's not just say that I have the charger, but I'm currently in the possession, or I currently possess a charger. I'll give you 10 seconds and you can start now.
Okay, yes.
This is I, so I'll start by putting. Okay, the subject of the sentence is I, so I'll start by putting that here. Now, the thing that I currently possess is a charger, and the word for charger in Korean is 충전기. Again, that's the thing that I'm currently possessing, or that's the thing that I possess. So I'm going to put the object particle on that. Now, the verb for to currently possess or to currently have an object like this is you want to use 가지다. And just like we saw in the previous two sentences, you want to add this 고 있다 form to 가지다. So if I want to do that, well, I'm going to get rid of 있다. And I'm going to get back to my original color here. I'm going to add 고 있다. And I'll add the honorific of the informal high respect form. So it's 있어요. And this sentence would read 저는 충전기를 가지고 있어요. The next sentence I would like you to try is
Okay, number 4. And we will start. Okay. 저는 sofa on the sofa. Okay, on. I always forget if you really use the word for on or you just say I think you use on. Okay. I think you use A and then you have space and then you use was it just we? Where? We? On. Or was it we? I'm not sure. I will leave it like this. Okay, it doesn't need any like object particle so because it has a place indication particle already. And now we add am sitting. So the progressive form of to sit. To sit is 앉다. 앉다. I think like this. This is 앉다. We remove the da. We add 고 있어요. Okay, so but now we have an interesting situation here because now I just did the same that I did in the other sentences, but we had the section about these position verbs, which to sit is one of them. And if we are talking about these in progressive form, it's like we're currently in the process of sitting down, which is not what we want to say here. So I think goita is actually wrong here. So I remove this again. And instead we add the passive form for to be in a state of sitting, basically. And I think that was a 있다. So 아 있어요. 앉아 있어요. Yeah, so I think this is basically the being in a state of sitting form. Yeah, should be fine. Let's see.
I am sitting on the sofa. I'll give you 10 seconds and you can start now. Okay, the subject of the sentence is I, so I'm going to start by putting this here. Now, the place in which I am sitting, the place that this is not happening, but the place, sort of like the flat place that I sit in, is the sofa. So, okay, well, I'm going to put the Konglish word sopa, because there is no real way to make an F sound in Korean, so they would say sopa. I have to put A here because that's sort of the place in which I'm sitting. Now, as I talked about in lesson 18, if I want to indicate that I'm standing or sitting in a particular place, well, what I need to do is first put the verb to sit, which is 앉다. And that's the dictionary form of the verb. But if I ever want to indicate that I'm sort of standing or sitting or doing these things where it can sort of progress in that particular state, well, I want to add a or a and then a space followed by ita. So I want to sort of merge this to the stem of the verb. So I'm going to get rid of ta. And I have to either choose if it's going to be, and you hopefully are very aware of this by lesson 18, I need to choose whether it's going to be this one or this one. Well, in this case, because the stem of the verb anta, the vowel, the final vowel, or in this case, the only vowel, is a. So I shouldn't add a. Instead, I should add a. So if that happens, sometimes this would merge, but in this case, because there are consonants at the end here, this doesn't merge, and instead it gets added directly to the stem or in the syllable following it. So it's a would go here. And then I would put ita after that, followed by, well, I put a space here. And then I put ita. And as you've seen in all the previous ones, I'm not going to just put ita. I'm going to use the informal high respect form of by putting 어요 here. And this sentence would read, 저는 소파에 앉아 있어요.
Okay, so most of the sentence that I wrote is correct. I just have the we there. I'm pretty sure I remember an example sentence where we had something like, I place the pen on the table. And I think for that example sentence, we actually used a we, or the word for on or above something. I'm pretty sure about that. You know what? I'm so sure that I actually will look for this very quickly. I just want to. I'm sure we had this example. I want to just verify if if my solution is also correct or if I'm just completely wrong. So was it this one or was it 16?
All right, let's practice some sentences.
Let's see what we have here. Okay, right, okay, friends. Okay, that's not it. Then maybe 16 or 15, one of those.
About them being culturally different. Sentence is very similar to, and in lesson 16, I taught you in that restaurant. Well, I can break.
Okay, not this one, maybe 15.
Translate this word here, returned. Like Handsome is describing student. Informal high respect, a big car. It will take 3 hours.
Still not in 15. Was it really 14?
I am not in this sentence. It's just the light, sort of how to create some sort of.
Wow, it's also not 40. I can't believe it. I want to find this now. I'm so sure we had such a sentence.
All right, let's. The best way. This aniheo translates to and. Now.
Okay, this is the last one I check. It can't be much earlier. Then it was not in the practice video, it was somewhere else. It can't be earlier than 12.
All right. I also just say that in English as I bought this at a store. 살았어요. 기름.
3 not here. It's really not here. But what we can do is we just check the lesson where we learned those words. I think that was like 5. um, 4. Wow. Can't believe it. Now I'm not finding this one either. I'm not finding anything here. Maybe it was 9. I can't believe this right now. I cannot believe it. Why am I not finding this? Particles. Was it lesson 2? Indicating time or place. No. Yeah, I don't know. I can't believe it. I'm not finding anything here. It was definitely where we learned the word place. To place something, right? Okay, what is to place? Oh. My memory is just super bad right now. This is not what I learned. To put maybe. Wait, I'm pretty sure I remember the sentence. The pen was placed on the table. It was in the passive. It was in the passive. Ah, here. Okay. I'm finding this. Okay, to lay an object down. This is it. This is it. Okay, let's go. The pen was laying on the table. And here we have it. Only A. Yeah. So that's it. GG. I'm wrong. My solution is wrong. But I really...
And you don't know how, but the light just automatically, well, which translates to sound here. Now,
it's crazy that I'm so sure I saw it in a video.
그 집은 작년에 저는 책을 놓
the table. The next
Ah, here we have something. Okay, and here it's also a tech jai, only A. Okay. The book is like, okay, there we have it. And again, we have only A. Here again, what? Yeah, okay, Changyeon. Okay, that's a different topic.
오늘 몸에 열이 많
it's very yesterday I bought a sentence.
Yeah, okay. Enough. So now we can finally go back to the video we were
All right,
doing.
let's practice some sentences.
So that was number 4.
So I shouldn't add.
I remove the we that I have in there, and then the rest was correct.
That followed by that
Okay.
department store got popular. I'll give you 10 seconds and you can start now.
Okay, so this is our final sentence. Actually, the video is still pretty long. Sorry, I had to leave for a second. No problem, Kaya. I did pretty well so far. One sentence I forgot the subject particle for no reason. And yeah, just now I was wondering if I should put really this on top, this on the sofa. If I just use a as a place particle or a we. Yeah, and it's only a. I figured that out now. Yeah, but apart from that, everything was correct. And now I'm doing sentence number 5, and I'm putting the window in front of the chat again, as always, and now I'm doing it. That apartment store got popular. Okay, for that, of course, you need to know what popular means, but we will start with that apartment store. Que 백화점, 백화점, 는. Okay, now we have the situations, this concept of adjectives that became something. So this is not in a progressive. This is not a progressive. It's not getting popular right now. It got already popular. So it's a past form. And we only need to change the to be popular to get popular or to become popular. Okay, so partner store got popular. Yeah, popular. I need to think of the word. Was it she one other? Nah, I think that was to be cool. Yeah. Wait, I think I can remember. I think I got it. Was it Yu Myung-hada? I will just assume it's that. I think it's correct. Yu Myung-hada. So Yu Myung. I think like this. Yu Myung-hada. Okay, so now we change it to we add Ajida or Ojida. We take a look what the last syllable or the last vowel of the stem is. In this case, it's ha. And I think that means we add it to we change it to he, right? Hejida. And then we conjugate he, jo, yo. Hejoyo. It's not ha, right? You don't leave the ha. I think you transform it to he. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I made a typing mistake in the second syllable here. In the first syllable of department store, I put tech hwajom, but it's pek. That was just a typing mistake. Okay, so que 백화점은 see, that's it's difficult to pronounce, so it's actually wrong. You need to use this subject marker because the previous word ends in a consonant, of course. So we have 그 백화점은 유명해져요. Yeah. So that's my final answer here. Let's see. Okay, Kaya, you have your own solution here. 그 백화점은 okay, it was the correct word. Nice. 해졌어요. Oh no. No. It's actually past tense. I didn't realize it's past tense. But I mean, the rest is correct. And past tense is not that difficult. Always trying to talk to myself to make it better. Okay, 유명해졌어요. 그 백화점은 유명해졌어요.
At department store looks like a pretty big sentence, but if I want to indicate that, I guess you could use 저, but I'm going to just use 그 in this sentence. But if you're talking about that and pointing at that department store and you're sort of looking at it from far away, you could use 저 in this case, but I'll just use 그, assuming that we're referring to that department store maybe from another sentence. The word for department store in Korean is 백화점, so it's 백화점. Now, that's the thing that got popular. So I'm going to put E on 백화점. Now, if I want to indicate that it is popular or it was popular, if I just want to indicate that it's popular, or maybe if it was popular in the past tense, I would use the adjective 유명하다. 유명하다. And this would actually be a sentence in itself right here. This sentence would read, or this sentence would translate to, that department store is popular. But I don't want to indicate that it is popular, and I also don't want to indicate that it was popular. I want to indicate that it got popular. And you learned in this lesson that if you want to indicate that something got popular or got a certain adjective, you need to add, again, a or a. As we saw up here, you need to decide if it's going to be a or r. In this case, it's actually 야 because it's hada, followed by jida. And this, there actually is no space between this one and jida, whereas in the previous one, there actually is supposed to be a space between this a or this a and ita. But in this case, this whole thing is all sort of one connection and there is no space between them. So anyways, you should know by now, if I want to add something like this to something that ends in hada, what would normally happen is, well, as you learned in lesson 5, it actually is, it would...
Yeah.
As you learned in lesson 5.
This totally sounded like a part that he wanted to cut out but forgot when editing. He was kind of like sighing, like, ah. Then he didn't say something. He adjusted something on his paper, and then he started the sentence again. That was definitely a mistake, like an oversight when editing the video, 100%. Let's listen to this again.
This whole thing is all sort of one connection and there is no space between them. So anyways, you should know by now, if I want to add something like this to something that ends in hada,
yeah,
what would normally happen is, well, as you
and
learned
now?
in lesson 5, it actually is, it would...
Now he's doing something.
As you learned in lesson 5,
and now he starts
it would
again.
It would actually be 유명해지다. Now, we're still not finished because this sentence now reads, that department store gets popular, because it's sort of in the present tense to indicate that it gets popular. I could actually add koita to indicate that it's getting popular by putting koita here, but this is indicate that it got popular, which would mean I would have to conjugate this into the past tense. So it's not just 유명해지다, but it's, now I need to add the past tense conjugation here to indicate that it's 유명해졌어요. And again, I'm doing this in the informal high respect form here. Now this sentence would read, 그 백화점이 유명해졌어요. Well, that was fun. I hope you learned a lot.
Okay, nice. So that was that practice video. That explanation is like for idiots so long. Yeah, sometimes it's funny that he explains those things that we basically learned in lesson 2 or so, like that we used hundreds of times in all of the practice videos all the time. For example, that you have he instead of ha or hao or something like that, you have he, or the past tense. Sometimes it's funny that he explains it again, but to be honest, I prefer it that way over explaining too little, you know? If there can always be a situation where me or somebody else forgets something that he should know, because we learned it like so often already, and it was in the very beginning already or so. But sometimes there's a little chance that you still forget, and then I don't know. I guess it's nice that he explains it compared to not explaining something and you're wondering every time. So, for example, in this case, in this specific case, why is he using E? And why is he not using in? I would love an explanation for that. Sadly, he didn't explain that. So yeah, a bit unfortunate. So when he put down the E, he said the apartment store is the thing that is doing something, or yeah, I think that is doing something. Let's rewind here.
저 in this case, but I'll just use 그, assuming that we're referring to that for department store in Korean is 백화점. So it's 백화점. Now, that's the thing that got popular. So I'm going to put E on 백화점.
Okay, so I'm not sure if, like he's stressing, that's a thing that got popular. Makes it seem like you always use E when it's a thing, which is not the case, I think. But maybe it's just coincidence that he used the stressing on that word, on thing, just to get something else across. Yeah, but we're pretty much crashed. I really have to look into this issue. It's happening way too often. There must be some plugin or whatever that is causing the crashes. So what I just want to say, I think the difference between E and ga, or I-ga and nin and in, is when you're just experiencing something, then you use I-ga. And if you want to make like a general fact, if you're stating a general fact, then it was in and nin, I think. But if you're experiencing something in a specific moment, then it's I and ga. So, yeah, but I'm not sure what's the case in that example sentence. A department store got popular, but it was in lesson 17, right? Lesson 17. Here. Ah yeah, nin also for comparisons. Okay. So where's the first? Okay. This could be said as a general fact. Okay, so general facts, nin in, or comparisons in nin. I-ga is not used to describe the general fact. Rather, it would be used to describe a specific situation where the speaker just realized or observed, so experienced, what I said, something. Yeah, okay, yeah, exactly. So that's what I had in my head. But I'm still not sure what the department store got popular. Is that the general fact? Or is that just experience something? I guess it really depends on the context. I think maybe he didn't know before and he just saw something. He just saw some numbers. He just saw numbers about how many people go to that store, or he's actually seeing it, that there are many people inside the store. He just sees that, and then he's saying that sentence, wow, the department store got really popular. Then of course I understand that it's I-ga, or I or ga in this case, I. But if you talk about the store with someone else and you're not currently next to the store or so, you're just at home talking about that, and basically everyone knows the store is popular in the last 5 years already. Maybe it wasn't popular 10 years ago, but in the last 5 years it was really popular. Then it feels more like a general fact. So then in that case I would use in or nin. So I guess it really depends on the context. So I guess that example sentence, that department store got very popular or got popular, can be really used in both contexts, and with that both subject particles are true, are possible, I think. Okay. Yeah, and with that today's lesson comes to an end. It's 7:40 already, so did a little bit of overtime. But yeah, tomorrow we will take a look at the dictation practice, or we also have the workbook. There's at least one exercise we can do from the workbook. And yeah, I think we'll start with the workbook. So we'll take a look into the workbook tomorrow. There will be at least one exercise. We will do that one exercise. And then we'll just continue with the second if there's a second. And if not, we will do the dictation video here. So that's the plan for tomorrow. And with that, thanks a lot for watching and bye bye. Annyeong.